Thank you so much for joining our today's workshop. So this workshop itself will be divided into 3 sections. So beginner, intermediate, and advanced. And each workshop will take around 1 hour. And these 3 workshops will teach you everything about ProtoPie. So after these 3 workshops, you can express your design ideas in ProtoPie. And this is our first section, is a beginner workshop. And before we start learning ProtoPie, I want to play a game with you guys. So let's say if you guys are developers, you are a developer, and a designer described his ideas in his mind. And what he said is, there are 4 dock indicators, and those indicators can show the transition to the next slide by adding animation between 2 docks. Okay, so after you heard this description, and can you guess which interaction he intend to make? A or B? Do you have any ideas? Maybe you can share your ideas in chat window. A or B? I think it's difficult to only based on his describe to judgment is A or B. But maybe I can change my question. Sorry, I will change my question. Do you know what's the difference between A and B? Do you know the difference? A and B. Speed. Speed. So you mean docs speed or paging speed. Scroll effect. Okay, scroll effect. Assumption would be B. The transition is showing as it happens, not after the screen change. By the way, guys, you can, when you send a message, there are 2 options. You can share to all panelists, or another one is show to all panelists and attendees. So maybe you can choose show to attendees, so others can say what's your set. Daniel said is when the animation start. So start timing is different. And Raphael, sorry, the interaction from left to right and the upside. Okay, I will tell you what's the difference. Actually, those 2 interactions, there are 2 differences. One is when the dock move to the next one. So for the A is after I scroll to the next page, then the dock will move to the next position. But for B, when I scroll my page, the dock movement is happened at the same time. That's the first difference. And second one is the docks moving the speed. The easing in curve are a little different. So why I want to play this game to you guys is I want to say, when a designer, every designer have a very creative ideas in their mind. Everyone in this workshop, you have very good ideas. However, how to express your ideas to others, it's not easy to express it. Just say some words, it's not easy. So that's why we want to make high fidelity prototyping prototypes, because those prototypes can help you let others understand what your idea they are. And that's why you guys want to learn ProtoPie, right? Because ProtoPie is a high fidelity prototyping tool. You are not only want to make click-through interactions, but also more complicated and more dynamic interactions. Okay, so after this game, it's time to learn ProtoPie. Are you ready? Okay, let's start. So ProtoPie have 3 parts: ProtoPie Studio, ProtoPie Player, and ProtoPie Cloud. I think most of you guys already download ProtoPie Studio, maybe try a bit of it. So with Studio, you can create and edit interactions. And then with ProtoPie Player, you can install it in your real devices like mobile or iPad. And after you finish your prototype in ProtoPie Studio, then you can share it to your device. So that means you can share your prototype to ProtoPie Player and then save it in your device. So in this case, maybe when you do user testing, you don't need to bring your desktop, just bring your device and do show them demos. And also you can upload your Pi file to ProtoPie Cloud and share with a link. So everyone, even they don't have installed ProtoPie Studio or ProtoPie Player, they can easily open a link to view and test your prototype. Also, there are a lot of collaboration features in ProtoPie Cloud. And actually, we already covered how to use ProtoPie Cloud in the previous workshop. So if you missed it, please check the recording link. My partner Gina, she already shared it in the chat window. Before we start learn ProtoPie, the most important part is understand the conceptual model of ProtoPie. We believe any interactions can be made by combining objects, triggers, and responses. So maybe some of you haven't heard about this model before. However, actually, when we use this kind of conceptual model every day, even you don't have heard about that. For example, when you see this interaction or when you imagine this interaction in your mind, how will you describe it to others? So maybe you will say, there is a yellow layer, and when I tap it, it will move to the right. So when you see this sentence, actually it's already including the trigger, response, and objects. So even you haven't heard about this conceptual model, but you already use it every day. So for ProtoPie, what we should do is we provide those triggers and the responses to designers. And what designers need to do, just combine those triggers and responses based on their ideas. So it sounds like Lego. So Lego provides kids with a lot of different blocks. So children can make their own objects like robot or car. So likewise, ProtoPie, we provide basic blocks, that's triggers and responses. And the assets you made in other design tools, they are objects. So in ProtoPie, what you need to do is just keep adding triggers and responses. So for example, in this case, the tap, long press, and drag, though they are 3 triggers. And after you add 1 trigger, you just need to add more responses below it. So tap, move, rotate. This is 1 micro interaction. And the long press color is it's a second. So when you keep making more micro interactions and put them together in 1 Pi file, they will become 1 entire prototype. That is your idea. Okay, so through those 3 workshops, today is beginner. After those 3 workshops, we will cover those whole triggers and the responses. So once you complete the whole workshops, you will be a true ProtoPie expert. Very exciting, right? Okay, so it's finally time to open ProtoPie and begin to learn how to use it. Today we will learn those triggers and those responses. And the way we will learn is we won't explain explain one by one, but we will make those 5 demos together. And when we make them, and we will use the triggers and responses I shown to you in the previous slide. So the first demo is long tap. So actually it's a repeat or looping interactions. It's very common in a lot of prototype in also application or website. And second one is a slide menu. We will use some single finger gestures. And third one is page transition. So how you jump to several different pages. And first one is open the link. So I mean open a real link. And the last one is a scrolling and paging. Okay, so please download the source file. Gina has shared it in the chat window. Please click the link in the chat window. And after you click the window, I think you will see this similar interface like my slide, and then find the download button from the left side. So this link is made by ProtoPie Cloud, and the current interface you are looking at is ProtoPie Cloud. And the prototype won't work because we haven't made any interactions in it. So we will download only the assets and make interactions together. Okay, let me check. Let me open my assets first. And by the way, this workshop will be recorded, and we will share the link in. We will upload it to our YouTube channel, and you can check our YouTube channel later. And also, we will share the recording link to every registers. You can the font, it doesn't matter for today. You can change the font to others. Yeah, Kiloi is our brand font. You can change it to others. The assets link doesn't load. How about others? Paulina said he can't open the link. How about others? Okay, cool. Already? Okay, cool. Doesn't matter if you you can download, you can upload it. You can upload it to 5.1, or let me see. If you can't open it, maybe you can contact Gina, and Gina maybe let me see, how can we do that? Because I made this PI file in 5.1, that means lower version you cannot open it. Yes, because I made it in 5.1. Gina, do you know how to import Figma file in ProtoPie? Sorry guys, I haven't expected this issue. Please leave your email in the chat window to me, and I can share the version to your email. Yeah, thank you. Okay, now let's start. And I will open the new page first. Let's say this is the first time you use ProtoPie and you open the new file. First, let's take a look at this interface. Here we have a lot of assets. So maybe you can import from your design tools, Adobe XD, Figma, and Sketch. But in this workshop, we won't learn how to import them, because in the next version, 5.2, we will release Figma plugin. So that is a better way and the faster way to import your asset. So maybe after we release the new version, we will have a launch event. So maybe you can join the launch event and learn more about Figma import. And after that, we also have planned to make Adobe XD plugin or Sketchum plugin. So today we just start with some very simple shapes and just use the asset I prepared for you guys. And also in ProtoPie, you can import your image or videos like MP4 or MAV, or audios like MP3, and also LOTI. For camera, we will learn it in the next workshop. And some basic shapes, text, and container. And container, we will learn it in today's workshop later. Here, some buttons. First one is a preview. So after you make any interactions, you can see how it looks like in the preview window. And this device is for connecting with your ProtoPie player. So ProtoPie Studio and the ProtoPie player, when you connect them, you can use Wi-Fi or URL, Wi-Fi and or USB. So when you use Wi-Fi, you can open ProtoPie player and scan this QR code, then they will be connected together. And this run button is for sync your file to ProtoPie player. So sync to your device. And when you click this cloud, you will go to ProtoPie cloud and upload. That means you will upload your Pi file to ProtoPie cloud. And let's say, let me add a very simple shapes first and make some basic interactions to see how ProtoPie conceptual model works first. Here you can add a lot of triggers that's ProtoPie provide currently. So some like multiple finger gestures, pinch or rotate. You need to use your 2 fingers to pinch or rotate. And also you can use some basic fling, tap, long press, and also we support some conditional triggers. And if you are making web design, you can also use mouse over, mouse out. And this price means the physical keys. And those are input. So you can type in something in your prototype, use your native keyboard. And also ProtoPie supports some base sensors in your device. And in this case, let's say I'd like to use double tap because we always try tap, right? This time I want to try double tap. And when you select this double tap, here we call this the right side, we call this property panel. So property panel is showing the object's property. The object is depending on if you are choosing a trigger, it will show triggers property. If you're choosing a layer, it will show layers property. So here you can see the object of this double tap trigger is this rectangle. So you can change the object to others, but currently we only have one, so there are only rectangle one you can choose. And the finger of numbers. So if you choose 5, that means you want 5 fingers double tap on your big screen. So if your screen big enough, you can choose 2 or 5. However, when you try it on the preview doesn't support multiple finger gestures currently. So you have to try it on your ProtoPie player. So that's why I'd like to just use 1 finger. And after that, after that double tap it, let's say I can make it move or size changes, use scale, rotate, 3D rotate. Here I'd like to use maybe color. And you can give it a color here. View is 100, so that means I can see this color. If it is 0, that means there's nothing on your screen. Okay, so when I double tap it, the color will change. So this is our basic conceptual model. And also you can add more responses below 1 trigger. So for example, move. You can say, I want it to move to a position. But in ProtoPie, maybe you don't know the coordinate. So in ProtoPie, let's say the left up corner is 0, 0. And when you move a layer to the right, then the X will be bigger. And when you move this layer to the bottom, then the Y, the value will be bigger. So that is how you can get the position values. And here, let's say I just give a number randomly. Let's say 100 or 300. And also you can set which response you want to happen first. So by dragging this timeline. So here is move. And when I double tap it, color will change first, and then move responses will work after 0.2 seconds. So why is 0.2 seconds is I can check the start delay. It's told me it will start after 0.2 second, and the duration. So duration decide the speed of your movement. Okay, this is very simple example. And now let's us go back to our assets and try to make our first demo. So first demo is when I long tap this assets, I want it to start shaking. First, we should think about what is a trigger it is. So in this case, of course, it should be long press. And we already give your answer here, long press. And how many fingers you want to use is depending on, maybe you are using ProtoPie player, then you can choose more fingers. If you are just want to follow me, see the effect in preview window, please choose one. And this one means after you keep typing it after 0.5 seconds, then something will happen. So you can change it, give it a different number. But here I just leave it as a default. And after that, the response should be rotate, right? Because shaking is a kind of rotate interaction. But here you can find one is rotate to, one is rotate by. So what's the difference? Actually, when you add other interaction responses like move, rotate, scale, 3D, even opacity, radius, a lot of them, they have a radius to, radius by, move to, move by, scale to, scale by. So what's the difference between to and by? Let me show you, give you an example. For example, when I say, when I long tap it, I want to rotate by 5. So that means when I long tap it, it will turn to 5, right? And when I long tap it again, it will turn 5 angle more. So currently the angle is 10. And when I long tap it again, it will keep rotating. However, if I change it to rotate 2, then first time, of course, it will rotate to 5. However, no matter how I will tap it, nothing will happen. So rotate 2, that means is absolute value. However, rotate by, that means relative value. So when you use move, that move by, that means it will keep moving. But if you use move to, that means it will move to a specific position and won't moving anymore. So that is the difference. Okay, and the direction, like use the clockwise. Let's try the effect first. So when I long press it, it will rotate. However, this rotate is not what I expect, because when it rotates, I want it can rotate around the center of this layer. So what I need to do is I need to change the origin of this layer. So that means you need to change the property of this layer. So choose this layer. It's called long press icon. Choose it, and then you will find in the right property panel, find this one, origin. And then change it to the center. Here, the left side. And then, as you can see now, when I tap it, it will rotate around the center. The next response is another rotate, but this time I want to rotate back to the -5, right? So what I need to do, just add another rotate, and this time give it rotate to -5. By the way, the first one is also rotate 2. Both are rotate 2, and one is 5, another one is -5. But second rotate, the direction should be the second one. And then try it. So currently it's work strange because those two rotate. First one should happen first, and the -5 should happen later. So I need to give it a start delay. So let's say 0.2. Those numbers, 0.2 or duration, you can customize by yourself. Let's say here. So turn to right and stop at the left. But what I want is shaking. So shaking, that means I want to keep moving, right? To keep rotate right and left. So what we need to do is here. At the bottom of the rotate property, you can find repeat this feature. And when you check it, you can set up how many times you want this repeat and what the interval of each repeat. In this case, I want it to keep rotate until I tap it to stop it. So I will check this one in infinite repeat. And same for the second one. But because I already know those two rotate should keep repeat at the same time. So if you ask me to make it, what I will do just multiple select them and then set the repeat at the same time. I think it's faster to set them up. And let's try. So as you can see, it is shaking, but the edging is strange. So you can change the edging to the linear or other effect. So if you choose the cubic bezier, when you tap this graphic icon, you can customize the easy ink cover by yourself. But in this case, I would like to use linear. And then it will start moving. Okay, let me check how you guys working. Do you have any question? Mike asked, if we want to tap on one button and then have another object appear or do anything, how do we do it? Good question. So what you can do, let me go to a simple one. So here are two shapes. In ProtoPie, you can customize your object for your response and trigger. So if, let's say, when you tap this rectangle, then you want this circle layer colors change or move, you can just select the color and move together. Oh, sorry. Select the color one by one and choose the object to oval one, this layer. Same for the move. So in this case, that means when you double tap A and other B layer will change. Okay. This is my answer for Mike. Mary asked, how do we set the infinite response again? Please show it. Okay, sorry. Again, here. So you are asking how to set up the repeat, right? So the repeat is, you can find repeat in almost every response at the bottom in your property panel. Anastasia, I managed to create a long press, but how to make it stop on preview? Yeah, we will make it together. Okay. Next one, we will make what Anastasia asked is when I tap it. So now it's shaking. When I tap it, I want it stop. So what I will do first, the trigger. Trigger is tap, right, in this case. And the response is stop. In ProtoPie, we have a stop this response. And the stop means no matter how this the layer or object, the current state, no matter what it is, when I give it a trigger, it will stop immediately. So let's try. When long tap, it will start shaking. And when I tap it, it will stop immediately. However, I don't know, I can't match the time when he go back to the initial state. So that's why now currently when I tap it, it's still in the rotate, maybe rotate to -3 or 4. So what I want to do is when I tap it, I want to stop looping and go back to the initial state. So what I need to do here, I need to add another response. There are two ways you can make it go back to initial state. One is give it a rotate and rotate to 0, right? And another one is reset. For me, I prefer to use reset because reset means I will make this layer go back to his beginning state. No, even I don't know what the number, what's the initial state, how to rotate those number it is, and how what the position it is. I don't need to input the numbers, just use a reset and it will turn everything back to the beginning. And then don't forget to give it duration is 0, right? Because I want it reset immediately. And let's try. Long tap, stop, long tap, stop. So no matter when now every time when I stop it, it will go back to the initial state. By the way, in ProtoPie, there are a lot of ways to make a same interactions. So in this case, there are a lot of ways to make it go back to the 0, right? Use a reset or rotate. So same, when you make other interactions, it's not only one way to make it happen. It's totally depends on how your logic with your design, with your interaction. Okay, so this is our first demo. Let me quickly check. Do you have any question for our first demo? So Roberto asked, sometimes when I stop mine, it does 36 rotate before resetting. Yes, so what you need to do is give its duration is 0. So if you give it like say 0.2, that means it will take 0.2 seconds to go back to the beginning. However, you don't know how it will take back. If it's a stop, when you stop it, is a stop in the rotate to 5 angle, then it's just a go back. However, if when it start at -5, that means it will rotate around and then go back. So for reset, you can't set up the direction when you want to rotate back. So that's why I recommend you to set it up, set the duration to 0. When ProtoPie start to support Google Maps? Okay, this one I will answer at the end of the workshop. I will try to answer questions related to our demo first, okay? Can typing a background be the trigger to stop the rotation of the long press? Tag the background. Sure, so what you need to do, just change the object. So here the background is this one, home background, and then type it. But if you'd like to say, I don't want to tap home background, I just want to say when I tap this background, there's no any layer, but I want to tap it anywhere I want it to go back. In that case, it's impossible because there's no object for the tap trigger. So what you need to do is you have to make a background layer and make it touchable. Cool. how to center rotate again? How to center rotate? I changed the origin of this layer. Origin here. Cool. Now let's make our second demo. Second demo is here I have a notification, how to say, page or banner. And what I want to do is when I swipe on my screen, I want this page could slide into my home page. So first, my trigger is Fling. Sorry. So the trigger is a Fling. And who is the object? So object in this case is the notification, this page. And the direction, of course, is go down. So because I will fling down. And when I fling it down, then it should move into my screen. So when it moves to my screen, the position of it will become to 0, 0. Why it is 0, 0? Because as I mentioned before, in ProtoPie, the default, how to say, the 0, 0 position is on our left up corner. So when it moves into the screen, as you can see here, the position, the position will change to 0, 0. Double tap, you can go back to the center of your page. Double tap. Okay. Let me put it back. Okay, now let me try. So when I fling, it won't move, of course, right? But why? Because I can't touch my noti page. It's not touchable on my home page. So what I need to do, I need to make it touchable. So in ProtoPie, we have a property called touch area. So when you select this noti group, select this group, and then check this one, touch area. And then you will find, I think for you guys is now it should be 0, 0, 0. And then you can give it extension, for example, 812. This number is come from my height of my device. So my device is 11 Pro. That's why it's a 375 and 812. So after set it up, now go open your preview window, then it should work. But of course, it's only will move in, it won't move out. So if you want to move it out, maybe you can try it first, and I will answer others' question when you try to make it move out. Okay, now let me answer your question. Sulenov, you asked about Google Maps. We don't support Google Maps, and also it's not in our, how to say, roadmap. But if you really want to, I think you mean invite Google Map into your prototype, right? So that's feature we don't have any plan, but if you really need it, please share your request on our user request platform. And Gina, could you tap answer to this user, share our Kenny link? And can I hide the layer by an object? Hidden a layer, so you can use opacity. Set the opacity to 0, then the layer will disappear. Is this your question? If I misunderstand your question, please send it again and I will reply you. Oh, Robert 2. He or she already figure out how to fling out. Perfect. So let's make it together. Same fling, right? The trigger is a fling. And the object is the same, this noting, but the direction this time is to go up. And what's the response? So you can same use the move and move it back to 0 and minus 810. So how did I get this number? Is from my thumbnail here. In the top of my property, you can find the position number of this object. So here it told me current state is minus 810. But for me, I prefer use reset because I don't need to check out the position, right? Just use a reset and then fling down, fling up, fling down, fling up. So that is my tip for you. Yeah, a lot of situation you can just use a reset. I think it's faster and easier to you guys. Okay. Good question from Daniel. What's the difference between fling and the pull? So when should I use one or the other one? Good question. Let me take a look at fling again. As you can see, when I finger swipe down, the notification page won't follow my finger. But when I release my finger, then this notion page will appear. So that is a fling. But for pull is, I can make it together with you guys. The difference, the pull will follow your finger. So let's try together. Because it's a very good question, so I want to explain to you guys. And let's turn off the fling first. So in ProtoPie, if you don't want some interaction work currently, you can just turn it off and don't need to delete it if you need it later. And then you can add a pull. And the object same is noted this group. And the direction, of course, go down, right? And distance is when I pull it, how much it should move. So it should move 810. So this distance, oh, sorry. This is the distance. That's why I don't need to give it a minus or plus, because current position is minus 810. And when it jumped to the screen, of course, the distance is he should move is this number. And then as you can see, this page will move into the screen with my finger together. And one more interesting thing, two more interesting things is, first one, I don't give it any response, but it still moves. So that is the difference. The pull, this trigger is very specific in ProtoPie, because for other triggers, if you don't give it any response, there's nothing will happen. However, for pull, it can make something move, even you don't give it any response. And the second one, very interesting thing is, even I haven't give a go back interaction, but it will send, it can work. So for the pull, that means after you set up those numbers, that means you already set up go and back at one time. So it depends on your design. If you want this notification appear with your finger, then use fling. If you want if you want to jump into a screen with your finger, then you should use pull. If not, you can use a fling. Cool. And I will delete it and turn on my fling. For you guys, if you prefer pull, you can just keep using it. Done. We already finished our second demo, and let me quick check one more question. So far the touch area, do you only have to adjust the height? No, as you can see here, yes, what I did just adjust the height below it, below this layer. But in ProtoPie, we support four side, width or height, both of them. Okay, now let's make our third interaction. So third interaction is, I want to, when I tap it, I want it to jump to another scene. And you can check your scenes in their sidebar. The first icon, when you tap it, it can show you the scenes in here. So in ProtoPie, we don't call page or we don't call artboard, we called it scenes. And but for you guys, it's maybe similar as a page. And you can also adjust the width of this panel, especially if you are making a website design. So maybe you can extend the width of this panel, and also you can fix it in your interface. But here, let me set it back. So onboarding is a second page. So when I tap this ProtoPie logo, I want to jump to the onboarding page. So what I need to do is, of course, tap. Tap the Pi onboarding this group with one finger, and then response should be jump. Jump. So select which page you want to jump to. So it's onboarding. And here you can set up some transition effect, fade or pop, it depending on you. And then let's try tap, jump. Again, tap, jump. So yeah, in ProtoPie, very easy. When you want to connect each page, make a whole page flow, then what you need to do, just keep add jump this response. But I believe this interaction is not that natural, right? Because in most of case, when you open the app, it will have a how to say loading page. It won't show you the interface immediately. So I want to make a similar effect. So what I can do, there are a lot of ways to do this. The way I choose is I add a pie transition shape. So how I made this is just add a rectangle layer and give it white color, and also I can change the radius for it and change the size. Then it's become to the pie transition, this layer. But for you guys, I already made it for you, so you can just use it, pie transition. But pie's transition is just a white, right? And when I tap it, I want this layer could become bigger, as big as my screen size. So what I want to do is give it a scale, and the size is my screen size. So 375812. So maybe you have a question, what's the difference between size and the factor, right? Scale by size, scale by factor. So factor here is, you can change, how to say, it's not exactly number of your width or height. It is double, you can set the, how to say, ratio of your size. For example, basic one is 100. But if when you change it to 200, that means I will turn off the jump first. Okay. So when I tap it, the scale will become to double. Even I don't know the current the size, the width and height, how much is it? I just want to scale it up to double size, then just use a factor. That's a better way. But if you want to give a specific number for its size, so you can, in that case, use a size. In this case, of course, setup the size is easier for me because I don't know the ratio of the screen size and the current, this pie transition layer size. that's why I choose size and the scale to this number. But as you can see here, it should move into my screen, right? So I need to give it a move and move to 0, 0. So as you can see here, when I tap it, the background, the pie transition will become bigger as my device and then move to my screen. However, the logo, I don't want the logo show up front of my background. So what I can do, there are several ways. One way is you can give this layer, this logo pie onboarding opacity and set it to 0. So that means when the background scale up, then the logo will disappear. However, another way is reorder. So what's reorder mean? In this case, as most design tool, in your layer panel, this order, that also means the order they are showing in your screen. In this case, the pie onboarding is above of the pie transition. So that's why for you, when you see it in your scene, the pie onboarding is on the front of you, at the front of you, and the pie transition is behind of it. So that's why when you scale it up, the logo, you can still see the logo. But if I use reorder, I can make this pie onboarding group go back to my screen. So here, first one is when you long hover on the icon, it will show you what they are. So first one is bring to forward, and this one is a send backward, bring to front and send to back. In this case, if your reorder is giving to pie onboarding, you should choose second one or first one. But if your current object is this background, this pie transition, of course, you need to choose first one or third one because you need to move it front. Okay, so now let me try again. Tap, then I will see how to say the loading page first, right? And then I want this jump. So I will turn on my jump and don't forget to adjust the timeline because I don't want to jump immediately. I want to show my loading page first and then jump to the next page. So that's why I give it this start delay. This is our third demo. Let me check, do you have any question? If the layer is not visible from the left panel, the eye next to the, can I still be used as an object? Okay, now I understand your question. So his question is, here in ProtoPie on the layer panel, you can lock it or invisible it, like other design tools. And when it's invisible, can I still add interactions in it? Can I still use it as an object? So the answer is yes. So as you can see here, it's invisible, but I think, oh, sorry, not this one. No T, but it's still, you can use it for trigger and responses. However, because you already turned it off, right? It's invisible now. That's why the interaction actually is still working. However, it is invisible. That's why it seems nothing happened on your screen. Okay. I can't get the Fling to work. How should I help you? Maybe you should share your screen and I can check with you. In this case, By the way, it's a good question actually. If sometimes you find some interactions you made but doesn't work, first one you need to check is your object. Did you select the right object here? Fling and response. Second one, what you need to choose is, did you input the values on your in your property panel? So in ProtoPie, let's say you add a tab, but you didn't give a position to this move, then this one will show you a yellow arrow message. That means you missed some value. You haven't set it up. If you don't do that, nothing will happen. So please check those two. Maybe it will work. Can I see the Fling trigger? Okay, I will just show you again. Does pull works for image slider when I want to switch in images? For image slide, we will make it later. I'm not sure, do you mean scrolling or paging? Like how we did when you check your picture in your phone. I think that is your mean image slider, right? So we will make it later together. Mariana, yeah. Cool. Another question from Mariana, right? When I export Figma page, is it will have whole Figma layers or it will compress? For the next version, you can import all your Figma layers or part of your frame. So it depends on you. You can import part or all of them. It will be compressed. I know, because for the next version, it won't. Cool. It seems to only work a little, and it doesn't fully come down the screen. Really? I don't know what, sorry, I missed your context. I don't know what you mean, the only work a little. Maybe you can ask again, sorry, Mark. Okay. If I want to go back to home screen, do I have to create the interaction on the onboarding scenes? Yes, good question. So now I'm in the onboarding, the second page, the onboarding scene. Of course, if you go back, maybe here some place you have a go back button, right? Let's say this is your go back button, and we'll tap it. Of course, you need to jump back. So it depends on you if you want it jump to home or screen one, is you can choose one of them, or in this case you can choose previously show scene, because you jump from home to the onboarding. So if you choose the previous shown scene, so in this case is mean the home. But in some cases, there are a lot of ways to jump into one scene. For example, there are A, B, C, three scenes. A can jump to C, B can also jump to C. But when you tap the back button in C, of course, you want to jump back to the previous scene. So in that case, you can use this feature. Okay, cool. Now it's time to move for the next one. Sorry guys, it's already 1 hour, but we still have 2 more interactions need to make. If you have any, sorry guys, if you don't have time, you can check our recording, and if you have time, I will keep teaching last 2 demos. So third one is very easy. When I tap this one, have a problem, contact us. Then I want to open a link. So maybe I want to send users to my ProtoPie homepage, and they can leave their request or questions from our website. So the trigger is tap, and the response is link. And link here, URL. So what's the ProtoPie homepage URL? I think is https protopie.io. You can try your own company website. Now, when I tap it, as you can see, a page is opened, right? I will try again because I already opened my page again. Cool. So as you can see, I can open the real page. That is how links work. And you can find a question mark around the link, this response. So actually in ProtoPie, there are a lot of question marks. If you have any questions, how to use this trigger or layer, you can click this question mark to get more information. For example, for this link, what I can learn from this question mark is, oh, ProtoPie can not only can recognize my URL, but also I can use URL scheme. So what is URL scheme? For example, you wanna send an email. So you wanna open your email application immediately. Then you can use like a mail tool. And if you wanna send to Hello ProtoPie and enter your email. Also, you can use a TL, this URL scheme. Then you will really call a phone, you really have a phone call to this number. So for different applications or service, they have their own URL schemes. WhatsApp, Figma, Amazon, Slack. If you can know them, then you can go to the specific page. And also, we won't learn formula today, but if you already know how to use a formula, you can, let's say, you type in a keyword in ProtoPie, in your prototype. Maybe you type a car. And then if you use this formula, Google will show you the search result of your keywords. So it's not send you to the Google homepage, but instead of it, you will go to the search result page. So that is how you can use a formula. You can, depending on what you type in prototype, and then Google will search that keyword for you. So that is a formula. And today we will just use URL, and for the formula, we will learn it in the intermediate workshop. And in the most case, you only can open the browser out of your prototype, out of your program. But if you are using iOS and you want to test this link on your ProtoPie player, on your iPhone, then when you check this one, it can open the link in-app as an in-app browser. Okay, cool. The link, this one, I think is the most easiest one today. Now it's time to go to the last one. So last one is a paging. Here, as you can see, I already have 3 images, right? And what I want to do is when I swipe them, then I want to show me second page and third image. So in ProtoPie, you can make it by using container. And what is container? So container, of course, that means it can includes other layers. That's why we use the container, this name. And there are 3 types. So in this case, we can use paging or we can use a scrolling. And how to use paging, because I think paging is a little difficult than scroll. So I want to explain how to use it. And I prepared my slide. Let me show my slide again. So in ProtoPie, let's say you need to add a paging container, but how should I adjust the container size? First, the paging container's width or height can decide your scroll distance. For example, in this case, the current container size, the width of this container is same as my screen, right? So that's why when I scroll, after I put those 3 images into this container, they will start paging. And each time when I page it, when I swipe it, it will move. The distance they will move is the same as my device width. However, if I reduce this container's width to the half, then those pictures, they will move half. So that's why I said after you add a paging container, when you try to adjust the size of it, it's a little difficult because it's depending on what the interactions you want. If you want the page can be moved by one entire images. So like this case, then you should set up this container's width same as your device. But in this case, you only want to move half, then you need to adjust your container size again. So go back to our Pi file. I already add a Pi paging container right here, container 1. And the default of the container, no matter anyone, 3 of them, anyone's default state, as you can see here, the color field is 0. So that's why is invisible, but it is here. And then what you need to do is adjust the size. So here, the size is also mean the touchable area when you scroll it. So for example, if you want whatever user swipe in the whole screen, then you can swipe the images. Then you can just set up this container as same as your device size. But of course, in this case, it's not my intention. What I want is just same as my images. Set up like this. And then put the whole things you want to scroll into this container. So they are those 3 images. They are trigger, response, and objects. Now I will drag it into my container 1. Did you see something happened on my screen? When I put it into my container, the object, this text layer disappeared, and also the 2 images are disappeared. So the reason why, first, the title disappeared because it's behind of my container. That's why I can't see it. So what I need to do is just put it upper. Now you can see it. And for the container, why I can't see another 2, because they are cut down by this container. If you want to see other 2 images, you need to select this container 1 and go to the property panel and find this click sublayers, this one. So the default is a clip. So after cancel it, then you can see other 2 images immediately. Now this interaction's finished. So as you can see, when you make a swiping or paging, in ProtoPie, we call this paging interaction. When you make paging interaction, you don't need to add any triggers or responses. What you need to do, just add a paging container and put the whole assets you want to swipe into it. That's all. And one more thing. So what's this scroll? So when you select this container layer, and you can also change this container to scroll container. So you don't need to add one more container and delete the current paging container. It's not that complicated. You just need to choose a scroll here and then change the direction. Then it will become a scroll interaction. So the difference between scroll and paging obviously is paging is every time it have a snap, but for scroll, when your finger release from your screen, then the scrolling just stop, right? But for paging, it have a condition in it. Let's say if my finger just move a little bit, and when I release it, the page will go back. But if my over half of my screen, then when you release your finger, then the second image will jump to your screen. So for the paging, every time when you do it, it will have a, how to say, auto snap function. That's the difference between scroll and the paging. Okay, cool. So we finished our 5 demos today I prepared. And don't worry, I will keep answering your questions, but let me finish my prepared what I prepared today, and I will have a separate Q&A section. So that is what we learned for paging. Yeah, that's the whole thing we learned today. Even I didn't mention how to use mouse over or mouse out. However, the logic to use them, they are totally same as others we already learned today. So after this workshop, those triggers and responses, you can use them by yourself. Congratulations, your first beginner workshop complete. And now, because we already over time a lot, and yeah, sorry guys again, and I hope it's very useful for you. And before you leave, we will have in the intermediate workshop 2 weeks later. And if you are interested in it, Gina, could you share? Yeah, Gina already shared the link in the chat window. You can join more workshops and let's learn more. Don't forget, our goal for my 3 workshop is we want to learn the whole triggers and responses here. Today is just a beginning. Okay, I will keep answer your questions, guys. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the Q&A window. Because I know it's not easy to get an opportunity from a person can, how to say, answer your question when you need it. So yeah, please use this time. Use Daniel. As far as I know, you can scale element up to your full canvas size by typing so it didn't work with a pi transition element. Why is that? Really? You know a feature even I didn't know. Let me go back. So you mean our third interaction, right? When you tap it, you want the background. I want the background, this pi transition go bigger as my full screen. And you said by typing X is 100% and Y is 100%. I think you mean for this scale setting. For the percentage here, of course, we have factor and you can type in 100. However, this 100 is not mean the 100 of my screen size. It means the current size of my pi transition layer. So 100, as you can see here, is a percentage, right? So that is means ratio. So current is 100% of my original size. So that's why is 62 and 61. Actually, is the other way to make a full screen size, but it's you need to use our formula. So I don't want to confuse you guys. So today you just need to know when you want to scale up a layer as big as your screen size, just type in your screen size here. And Daniel, if you already know how to use a formula, let me check. I'm not sure is this in our website. On our side, we have a formula list. We have it, but it's not on our website. We will update our documentation soon. If you want to know how to use a formula to make it happen, could you just send me email. So my email is Leah at, oh, I'm a little worried. I worried a lot of email will send to my email. So Daniel, if you want to know what's the formula you can use to scroll up to the full canvas instead of typing the exactly number, you can contact me. Okay. Simon, can we adjust the duration and the easing of jump to? I should read this question in our workshop before I finish it. Actually, we got a lot of questions like you, but currently, no. There's no way to adjust the jump. So again, what Sama means is here. When I jump to my next page, I only can set up my start delay, right? But a lot of users want to give it easy in. Currently is not possible. I'm not sure it's possible in the future, but we got a lot of questions. So maybe you can share your user request in the our Kenny platform. The link, Gina already shared it in the chat window, but there are a lot of chat. If you need it, please tap to Gina. Gina can share the user request platform link. Mariana, very interesting. Thank you. Thank you. Can the paging interaction start from the mid? Wow, really, really good and important questions. Yes. So what manual, sorry. If you want to start from the second page, right? First, what you need to do is same. We already can make paging. And the next step, what you need to do is select this container and then go to your property panel. Here you can find the scroll, but default is 0. So that means before I start scroll this 3 page, the scroll distance is of course 0, right? Nothing happened. But when I scroll to the second one, that means I scrolled 375 distance, because my width of my screen is this number. But now what you want is you want to start from the second one. So what you need to do, just change this number to 375. That means this scroll will start from the beginning. The start position is already start to 375. And now, as you can see, I can go back to the first one. And also I can still go to the third one. Again, so when you want to scroll from the middle, what you need to do first, just same, make the first image in the middle of your screen and give a container and put them into the paging container. And then second step is change the scroll. Let's say if you want to start from the second page, then just in this case, it's a 375, right? If your screen size is different from me, of course, the number is different. But if you want to start from the last one, from the third one, you want to start swipe to the left, then of course, this number should be double. Then what you need to do, just give it double. ProtoPie can calculate it automatically for you. Then it will, as you can see here, when I type 375, with a double, and then it will calculate for you. Now you can go back from third page. So that is my answer for your question. Very good question. Mario, how could I also change the title for the picture? We will learn it in the Mediate workshop. I won't tell you because I want you to join our next workshop. Sorry. Yeah. But I can give you a hint. The hint is you can use a range. You can use a range to do that. Maybe you can try it first before our workshop. What about pagination? Good. You mean this one, right? So when you swiping the page, you also want this dot can move. This one we will also learn together in the next workshop. Same, I won't tell you, but the hint is you can make it with chain, this trigger, this one. You can make it with chain. Yeah, we will make it together in the next workshop. How to change the text from object to the next element trigger. Yeah, next workshop. How to resize the loading box to normal if I come back to the initial screen. Loading box? What do you mean loading box? I understand. Yeah, good question. So what he is mean is first I need to add a go back trigger. For example, when I tap this get started, then I want it to jump to my previous scene, right? And then now I'm on my first scene. So same, I can long tap it and stop it. But when I jump to my second page, as you already know, the first page, the background pie transition become bigger, right? And now I'm jumped to my second scene. And when I tap this go start, it should send me to the first page, my home page. It is. However, this background is still in my full screen. So what I should do is go to the onboarding page and select this jump. Here, you can reset the selected scene. So selected scene in this case means the scene you selected here. So what I select is a home, right? The previous scene, that means home. So when I jump back, at the same time, I want my home page could be reset. So again, jump to the second page and go back. As you can see here, everything will be reset. So I think that is what you want to do, right? Will you, Daniel, ask, will you be covering the docs changing in the next? Yes. Can you go over the third demo again? Cool. Yes, I will. Third demo, what is it? This one, right? This jump. I will go back to from the beginning. So I will delete the whole thing I made it before. So first one I said, when I tap it, I want it jump to, where's the jump? Here. Jump to my onboarding page. And the transition effect could be fade or pop depending on you. So that is how it looks like. However, because this interaction is not natural as usual what we see, because there's no loading page. So that's why I give it a pie transition. Pie transition is just a white layer. And how I made it is just add a rectangle and give it some radius. So radius is 14 and change the color to white. So that is what I did. And then I put it back behind of my pie onboarding, this logo. And now what I want to do is when I tap this logo, I want the pie transition could become bigger as much as my full screen. And so that's why I add the scale. And the size of my full screen is same as my device. So 375 and 812. So that's why I give it this number. And as you can see, when I tap it, oh, sorry, it's a will jump. So I'd like to turn it off first because I need to check the scale this interaction first before it jump. So when I tap it, it's scaled. However, the current origin of this pie transition is still in the left up corner. So that's why when it become bigger, its extent, I think is here. on my screen. So that's why I need to add a move response to move this background into my screen, back to my the center of my screen. So that's why I give it move to 0, 0, because when it's the current this position, the full screen, the left up corner is 0, 0. So as you can see, it's become bigger, and at the same time it's moved to my center of my screen. But I can still see my logo. I don't want to see my logo. So what I did is I give it a reorder. And reorder, that means in ProtoPie, in every design tool, there an order of each layer. So if you put this layer above others in this layer panel, that means Pi onboarding. This layer is in the front of your screen, and the Pi transition is behind it. So that's why you can see this logo, but I don't want to see it. So that's why I want to reorder it. So that's why I give it this one, send it to the back. So that's why I choose this one, second one. Well, first one also fine. So first one, that means I want is sent to the whole pages, the behind of the whole page. So that is the first one's mean. But second one means just go down one order. So that's why, so that just means after this reorder work, this Pi onboarding will move from current order to the below after the Pi transition. But of course, this is happened for your interaction. It's not influence your Pi final, the layer panel. So that is what I want. And then I open this jump because I still want it jump to my next page, but I give it a delay because I want to see those onboarding in fact first and then jump to the next page. So that's why I give it 0.2 start delay. And that's it. This is our third interaction. Okay, Chi, did I answer your question? Cool. Instead of jump, reset, is there a way to trigger a smooth animation? I think you mean when I tap it, you don't want it to jump back immediately. Smoothly, depend on what you mean the smoothly. You can give it transition, for example, pop. Then when you go back, let me change it to the home. So it can have a pop or have a fade. So the smooth animation is totally depend on how you set up your transition, this one here. You mean the loading backward? Let me see what you can do. Yes, I think we can do that. First, let me know any transition effect, and I will cancel this reset because you want to give the loading backward by yourself, not by reset the whole screen, whole scene. So as you can see, let me start from my first page. So when I go back, you will see the boarding page, and then I want to say, start. Let me try start. So start is start after jump. So because you will jump back to scene one, right? So the start is after your jump, or you want to start with your jump. You can set up when this interaction happen. So let's say after jump. After jump, then I want this Pi transition could reset, but I give a duration. So you can see the progress when it go smaller, become change back to the initial state. So let's try. Jump to the second page. Oh, it doesn't work. Let me check. Start with jump. Restart every time. Let me try this. Yeah, restart. So restart every time. So why we should check it? Because this start is not only work when you jump back to scene one. Also, when you open this Pi file, even you didn't do anything, actually this start already worked one time. But this Pi transition layer size is already in the initial state, so that's why even this reset works. You don't know, but it's already worked. And if I check it, if I don't check it, that means it's only worked one time. That's the one time is first time when you open this Pi file. But if I check it, it said restart every time. That means no matter when I open it, or no matter when I jump from other page to this home page again, this reset will work. So that's why you can see progress. Same, if you want to restart this one, of course, you also need to restart other things like reorder. Give it a reorder to this Pi onboarding. I haven't used reset. Let me check reset. I think reset, it doesn't work for reorder. So in this case, you have to use reorder again and give it to, now this time you need to bring it forward, right? So jump back, jump, oh. Reorder. There's some delay, right? When I jump, yeah, here is a delay. So this reorder should happen immediately. When I tap it, it should happen immediately. Reorder and jump. But why I can still see the logo? Tap it. I don't know the reason, but when I change it to the first one, it works. But when I use the second reorder, it doesn't work. Strange. I don't know why. In my logic, as I know this logic of ProtoPie, it should work no matter I choose a second one or first one. I will ask our product team why it's happened. But anyway, I think I answered your question. You want to make this onboarding, when you go back to the first page, you want the onboarding can reset, or you want the onboarding change color and then reset. Is totally depend on you if you use start. Okay, answered. Thank you, and this lesson will be uploaded later onto your official, yes, we will upload it later. Thanks. Thank you, guys. Let me check. I think no more questions. I will stop sharing my screen. There's still some people in this workshop. It's already almost 40 minutes. If you have any questions, please leave it in 2 minutes, and I will take two more minutes to answer your guys' question. Okay. How, Gina, are you still there? Did you have your dinner? Sorry, Gina. You already have your dinner, okay. Because we didn't expect we will over time a lot. Yeah, but lucky Gina already had her dinner first. Mm. Okay, guys. No more any question. Then I will just stop sharing my screen and also end this workshop. And if you have any questions, you can check our recording. We will upload it in this week or maybe next Monday. Thank you, guys. Bye bye.